Hey coin collectors and history buffs. Welcome back to the channel BBC Rare Coins. Today, we're diving into the story behind one of America's most iconic coins, the Jefferson nickel. Let's start. Top 1. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most surprising and valuable discoveries in modern American coinage. The 1974 Jefferson nickel that went viral in the coin collecting world after selling for a stunning $69,000. That's right, a 5-cent coin that turned into a small fortune. This is one of those rare stories that reminds us why coin collecting is full of unexpected treasures and why even the most ordinary-looking coins can be worth a life-changing amount of money. The 1974 Jefferson nickel doesn't look all that different from the ones you see every day. It features the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse, a design that had been in use since 1938. Millions of these nickels were produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Most people wouldn't even blink twice at one. But somewhere in the chaos of production, a rare mistake occurred. A mint error so specific, so unusual, and so clean that it instantly made this particular coin one of the rarest and most sought-after nickels ever discovered. The key to this nickel's insane value? It was struck on the wrong planchet, a blank metal disc meant for a completely different coin. Instead of being made from the standard copper-nickel alloy used in Jefferson nickels, this rare piece was accidentally struck on a silver or transitional planchet, possibly intended for a foreign coin or leftover from a previous minting batch. That mistake alone makes it incredibly rare. Combine that with the fact that it's a full strike, in mint state condition, and authenticated by a top grading service, and you've got a coin worthy of its $69,000 price tag. What's so fascinating is that errors like this don't always get caught. With millions of coins being struck every day, even the most advanced quality control systems can miss a few mistakes. These coins go out into the world, end up in pockets, jars, vending machines, and often go unnoticed for years. But once one is found, examined, weighed, and certified, its true value is revealed. And in this case, that value was nearly $70,000. The 1974 Jefferson nickel isn't just rare because of its mint error, it also represents a unique moment in minting history. The U.S. Mint in the early 70s was dealing with material changes, testing for foreign contracts, and producing coins for other countries. All of these factors created the perfect environment for a rare mix-up like this to occur. That means there could be more of these coins out there, sitting in collections or hiding in plain sight. And it's not just this one error. The 1974 Jefferson nickel series is full of lesser-known varieties and oddities that are highly collectible. Some examples show struck-through grease errors, die cracks, double dies, and even off-center strikes, all of which can command high prices depending on their rarity and condition. But the crown jewel remains the ultra-rare wrong planchet nickel that hit the $69,000 mark. What's amazing is that you could have a coin like this sitting in your pocket or in an old collection passed down through the family. That's the thrill of numismatics, the idea that a simple 5-cent coin could be hiding one of the rarest and most valuable mint errors in American history. So next time you're sorting through loose change or coin rolls, don't ignore the Jefferson nickels, especially the ones from 1974. Look for strange weights, different colors, thinner edges, or anything that seems just a little off. You might just be looking at the next big discovery. Because if a 1974 nickel can sell for $69,000, imagine what else is still waiting to be found. Top 2. We're talking about one of the most shocking and valuable coins in modern American history, a 1981 Jefferson nickel that exploded in popularity among collectors after it sold for a jaw-dropping $66,000. That's right, a 5-cent coin, minted in the early 1980s, ended up being worth more than most cars. It's a story that has taken the coin community by storm, and it's one you need to hear if you're even thinking about checking your change. At first glance, the 1981 Jefferson nickel looks like any other. It has the traditional left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello, his famous home, on the back. The design hadn't changed in decades, and over 700 million nickels were struck that year. For most people, a 1981 nickel is just another coin to drop into a vending machine or leave in a coin jar. But what makes this particular 1981 nickel worth $66,000 is one rare, unbelievable mint error. An error so unusual, it instantly made this coin legendary. This coin was struck on the wrong planchet, a rare and valuable type of mint mistake. Instead of being struck on the usual copper-nickel planchet meant for Jefferson nickels, This particular piece was struck on a planchet mint for another denomination, possibly a dime, a foreign coin, or even a leftover blank from another minting process. The result? A Jefferson nickel that weighs less than it should, has slightly different coloring, and shows unusual edge characteristics. It's a coin that looks just a little off, but that small difference is worth tens of thousands of dollars. What makes this coin even more exciting is that it's not just a random error. It's a high-grade example, in nearly perfect condition, with full details and no damage. That combination of rarity, condition, and historical interest made it a showstopper at auction, where collectors battled for the chance to own one of the rarest 1981 nickels ever discovered. In the end, it sold for a stunning $66,000, setting a record and sending shockwaves through the numismatic world. The early 1980s were a transitional time at the U.S. Mint. There were changes in metal compositions, updates in production machinery, and a growing number of foreign coin contracts being filled. All of that added complexity to the minting process, increasing the chance that a few unusual coins would slip through undetected. The 1981 wrong planchet Jefferson nickel is one of those mistakes, and it became one of the most valuable nickels ever recorded because of it. But here's the most exciting part. These coins can go unnoticed for years. They don't always look dramatically different at first. It takes a trained eye, or sometimes just a curious one, to notice that something doesn't feel quite right. Maybe the coin is too light, or the edges look off, or the sound it makes when dropped is a little different. That's how some of the most valuable discoveries are made, by people who pay attention to the small things. The 1981 Jefferson nickel isn't just a fluke. It's a reminder that rare coins don't always have to be ancient, gold, or flashy. Sometimes, the rarest and most expensive pieces are hiding in plain sight, looking just like the coins we use every day to the next time you're sorting through your change. Don't ignore the nickels, especially from 1981. Look for strange weights, odd colors, or anything that seems unusual. You might just be holding the next big discovery, the next coin to go viral, and possibly the next one to bring in $66,000. Top 3. We're diving into one of the most shocking and valuable discoveries in modern U.S. coin history, a 1983 Jefferson nickel that went absolutely viral in the coin collecting world after it sold for an unbelievable $62,000. That's right, a 5-cent coin from the early 80s, something most people wouldn't even look at twice, turned out to be one of the most expensive and rare Jefferson nickels ever found. And the story behind it is as wild as the price tag. Let's start with what most people know about the 1983 Jefferson nickel. It features the classic design we've seen since 1938, a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and his Monticello estate on the reverse. Billions were minted across the country, and it was just another everyday coin. Until one incredibly rare mistake changed everything. One particular 1983 Jefferson nickel was discovered to have a serious mint error that turned this common coin into a treasure worth over $62,000. The key to its value? It was struck on the wrong planchet, a rare and incredibly valuable type of mint mistake. Instead of being struck on the standard copper-nickel alloy used for nickels, this coin was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a completely different coin, possibly a foreign coin, or even a U.S. cent or dime blank. That mistake made the coin lighter than normal, slightly different in color, and visually off just enough to catch the eye of a sharp collector, once authenticated and graded in near-mint condition. This 1983 nickel was sent to auction where it made headlines by selling for a stunning $62,000. That's over 1 million times its face value. This isn't just a story about a valuable coin. It's a reminder of how incredibly rare mint errors can change everything, and how even the smallest oversight at the U.S. Mint can turn a 5-cent piece into a legendary collector's item. What makes this coin even more incredible is that it wasn't flashy. It didn't have gold or silver. It wasn't an old colonial coin from the 1700s. It was modern, familiar, and in everyone's pocket just a few decades ago. That's what makes this story so exciting. It could happen again. There could be more of these out there, hidden in coin jars, rolls from the bank, or family collections that haven't been sorted in years. The early 80s were a strange time at the Mint. The U.S. was adjusting its coin compositions, trying new materials, and producing coins not just for America but for other countries too. That chaotic production environment made it more likely for the wrong planchet errors to slip through the cracks, and the 1983 nickel is a perfect example. But it's not just wrong planchets you should be watching for. Other valuable 1983 nickels include dramatic double-die errors, off-center strikes, and even struck-through grease errors that block out part of the design. Some of these coins, especially in uncirculated or mint-state condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But the crown jewel remains the wrong planchet error, the coin that defied the odds and turned 5 cents into $62,000. So here's the big takeaway. Don't ignore your change. Don't skip past the nickels, especially not the ones from 1983. Take a closer look. Weigh them. Study the edges. If something looks or feels different, trust your instincts. You might just be holding the next viral discovery, a coin that could rewrite your story. Top 4. The 1994 Jefferson nickel that went viral in the coin collecting community after selling for an eye-popping $57,000. Yes, a 5-cent coin from the mid-90s, something most people consider everyday change, turned out to be one of the rarest and most expensive nickels ever discovered. The story behind this coin is wild, and it's a must-know for any collector or treasure hunter at first glance. The 1994 Jefferson nickel looks like any other. It features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello, his historic home, on the back, the classic design that had been standard since 1938. Millions were minted that year, so the average person wouldn't give it a second look. But what makes this particular 1994 nickel so valuable is an incredible mint error that turned this ordinary coin into a rare treasure. This 1994 Jefferson nickel was struck on the wrong planchet, one of the rarest and most valuable types of mint mistakes. Instead of the usual copper-nickel composition intended for nickels, this coin was struck on a planchet mint for a different denomination, possibly a dime, penny, or even a foreign coin. This error caused the coin to be lighter and have a different metallic color and texture than standard nickels. It's subtle but unmistakable once you know what to look for. When this coin was discovered, it was authenticated and graded by experts, and then auctioned off for a staggering $57,000. That's more than 10,000 times its face value. This incredible price reflects just how rare and sought after these wrong planchet nickels are, especially in such good condition. The early to mid-90s were an interesting time at the U.S. Mint. While the designs remained stable, the Mint was juggling new materials and foreign contracts, which increased the chances of unusual minting errors. The 1994 wrong planchet Jefferson nickel is one of the few known examples from this era, making it a holy grail for collectors. But that's not all. Other 1994 Jefferson nickels are also valuable if they show certain mint errors, such as double-die varieties, off-center strikes, and die cracks. While these usually sell for hundreds or a few $1,000s, none come close to the incredible value of the wrong planchet coin. What makes this story truly exciting is that these coins can still be out there, in rolls from the bank, in change jars, or tucked away in old collections. The right planchet error is often so subtle that unless you're looking for it, it can be missed completely. But for those who do find it, this coin represents the dream of turning a simple nickel into a six-figure treasure. Oh, the next time you're sorting through nickels, especially those from 1994, pay close attention. Weigh them if you can, look for slight color differences, and don't be afraid to have a suspicious coin professionally examined. You never know, you might be holding a piece of history worth $57,000. Top 5. The 1997 Jefferson nickel that shocked collectors and went viral after selling for an incredible $53,000. That's right, a 5-cent coin from the late 90s, something most people overlook, turned out to be one of the rarest and most expensive nickels ever discovered. The story behind this coin is as amazing as its price tag, and if you're into coin collecting or just love treasure stories, you're going to want to hear all about it.so. Let's start with the basics. The 1997 Jefferson nickel looks like any other nickel from that era. It features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello, his historic home, on the back, the same design used for decades. In 1997 alone, millions of these nickels were produced at various U.S. Mint locations. For everyday people, this coin was just pocket change. But for collectors, a few very rare mistakes turn some of these ordinary coins into treasures worth tens of thousands of dollars. What sets this 1997 nickel apart is a rare and unusual mint error that occurred during production. The coin was struck on the wrong planchet. This means instead of being struck on the standard copper-nickel alloy that all Jefferson nickels are made from, This particular coin was accidentally struck on a blank mint for a completely different coin. It could have been a dime planchet, a foreign coin blank, or even an experimental metal. The result was a coin that looked almost identical to a regular 1997 nickel but was lighter, had a different metallic sheen, and sometimes showed slight edge variations. This kind of off-metal error is incredibly rare, especially in the modern era, and collectors go crazy for these mistakes because they represent a glitch in the minting process, something that wasn't supposed to happen but somehow slipped through the cracks. When this 1997 nickel was authenticated, graded in near-perfect condition, and put up for auction, it sold for an eye-popping $53,000. That's a price few could have imagined for a coin most people consider everyday change. What makes this coin even more interesting is the context. The late 90s were a time of experimentation and transition at the U.S. Mint. There were new technologies, changes in metal sourcing, and foreign contracts that complicated production. These factors increased the chances for unusual mint errors like the wrong planchet strike. The 1997 nickel is a prime example of how these complex production environments can create modern-day treasures, aside from the wrong planchet error. The 1997 Jefferson nickel series also includes other rare varieties like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. While those varieties can be valuable, often fetching hundreds or a few $1,000s, none come close to the rarity and value of the wrong planchet nickel. The most exciting part: these coins might still be out there, waiting to be found. Maybe tucked away in an old coin jar, hidden in a drawer, or still circulating quietly in change. The subtle differences between a normal 1997 nickel and a wrong planchet strike mean that many of these coins could go unnoticed without careful examination. If you're serious about coin collecting or just love a great treasure hunt, this story is a perfect reminder to always pay attention to the details. Check the weight of your nickels, look for slight color or texture differences, and don't hesitate to get suspicious coins professionally examined. You could be sitting on a $53,000 treasure. Thanks for watching. If you love stories about rare coins, incredible mint errors, and surprising discoveries, make sure to subscribe and stick around. There's a whole world of rare coins and hidden gems out there, and who knows what we'll uncover next. Keep hunting, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest surprises.